I tried to learn Spanish from record albums for a year and a half at the wrong speed. I spoke a fairly torpid Castilian. Had to be goosed up to communicate with other Spaniards. Listen to this. In my entire life, I have never had difficulty with the cops. I have had difficulty with the cops. I haven't had difficulty with the cops. I was once sitting home in my house, and a lot of cars pulled up around the house, and they shined in searchlights. And I heard a voice over a loudspeaker say, "We have your house surrounded. This is the New York Public Library." They wanted the books back, you know. A little librarian was lobbing grenades over the house. You know. I came out with my hands up, you know, kicking the books ahead of me. Like, they took me down to the main branch in New York, and they took away my glasses for a year. However, living as I do in our rich neighborhood in New York, we get robbed all the time there. It's a very popular thing in Manhattan. You know, my apartment was robbed around 4 times in 2 years. And I didn't know what to do about it, you know. They just broke in and took things and would leave or anything. And finally I put on my door a little red and white sticker that said, "We gave." I figured that would end it, you know. But it didn't, because a man in my building, Mr. Russo, was held up late at night. 2 very big guys got him in the lobby with a bottle and a stick, you know, and they wanted all this cash. And Russo, like a jerk, tried to sign for it for tax purposes, you know. They hit him a tremendous shot across the frontal lobe, you know, a real smack in the head. And he fell to the lobby in a fetal position, you know. And he lay there till his lease ran out, you know, just like that. And he's never been the same since the blows to the head, you know. He smiles a lot now. He laughs out of context occasionally. He's not as alert as the average tree stump, you know. Everybody in the building panicked. They said, "I'm small, and I should build myself up in case I get into trouble. I could defend myself." So I was petrified at that time. I went to Vic Tanny's health club in the United States, and I lifted, and I bent, and I squatted. And nothing happened to me at all. Nothing grew or anything. It was really dismal. I figured it's ridiculous. Why don't I just forget about it, give Vic Tanny the cash, and ask him if he'll walk me home nights. There is, however, in my neighborhood a kid named Leon, a little weird kid, and Leon takes karate lessons. And Leon is always walking around with his hand cocked at a right angle like this, you know? And everyone said I should learn judo because I'd be an absolute animal if I knew it. What are you laughing at, lady? But judo to me has always been a thing of the bigger your opponent is, the bigger the beating he's going to give you. That's the way I feel about it. The Japanese lost the war, you know, and don't want to get involved. Lived in fear. Then my good friends told me in the back of Esquire magazine, you can send away for a fountain pen that shoots tear gas. A great fountain pen, and it secretes a gaseous billow. You know, it can disorient a dog if necessary. Really a thing. I send away for it. It comes in a plain brown wrapper. Unscrew it, put in the tear gas cartridges, clip it in my breast pocket, and I go out one night. This was a long time ago. Some friends of mine were having a surprise autopsy. And I'm dancing, you know, really sensational. Coming home by myself, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black, I'm all alone, and standing in my lobby is a Neanderthal man, you know. Eyebrow ridges and hairy knuckles like this, you know. He had just learned to walk erect that morning, I think. Came to my house in search of the secret of fire. A tree swinger in the lobby. A mouth breather looking at me like this, you know. So quickly I took my watch out and I dangled it in front of him because they're mollified by shiny objects. You know, but he ate it. I backed off, pulled out my tear gas pen, I unscrewed the top, I pressed the trigger, and some ink trickled on my shirt. I made a mental note to call Esquire and tell them that I'm standing in the lobby, 2 o'clock in the morning, with the product of a broken home, you know. I had a fountain pen in my hand. I tried writing on him with it, you know. He came to me and he started to tap dance on my windpipe. Very quickly, I lapsed into the old Navajo Indian trick of screaming and begging. He got my head and he started to remove my wisdom teeth, you know? And I'm hitting him and I'm telling him he's the product of an economic squeeze, you know? And I offered to send him to holiday camp if he wanted. And finally some cops, I would say 6 cops came in and they saw what was going on. And they took his side. I get into an amazing amount of physical encounters for someone my size. About 6 months ago, I had my shoes shined against my will. Tremendous guy said to me, "I'm shining your shoes." "Yes, you are," I said. He did. Gave me a good shine, as a matter of fact, but they were suede shoes. Across the street from me in New York is Central Park. And Central Park is really populated by Neanderthals. Really bad guys swing through the park at odd hours, you know, dismantling social workers as they go. They unscrew the little blonde girls to see what makes them benevolent, you know? And every summer, a guy by the name of Joseph Papp does a thing called Shakespeare in the Park. Very virile outdoor Shakespeare in the middle of Central Park for nothing. And they were doing Hamlet. And in the middle of production of Hamlet, these 6 guys come through the park with the black leather jackets and boots and zippers and acne and everything. Really. They came upon the production of Hamlet, and they grabbed Polonius, you know. They held his head under the duck pond in the park. They got Guildenstern and Rosencrantz, you know. They broke their glasses. The guy who was playing Hamlet felt obligated to do something about it, you know. He was the star of the show, but... You can't come on too strong with those guys when you're wearing leotards. Harkin Prithee doesn't cut any ice with the Uptown Thumpers, you know. What finally happened was they grabbed Ophelia, and fortunately she turned out to be a cop. Listen, I must think in terms of breaking for a short while, but I will be back with my friend and guest, Danny Meehan, in very quick time, so please stay here, and I have more stories and like that. Thank you. When I was asked to do this show, I wanted not to do it alone because I didn't want to stand up there and talk for half an hour without any entertainment. And I called my friend in the United States, a very expensive call, and I had him come over here because the show paid. And he's a great personal friend of mine, and I've worked with him several times, and he's really, really a treat. So please welcome Mr. Danny Meehan.
At home, you're cozy, secure, and snug. But friend, look at the hole you've dug. You think you're smart, but you're headed for your defeat. If you want to live life, get out and walk in the street. The street has danger at every turn. But just think of the things you learn. If you want to get warm, you gotta go near the heat. And if you want to live life, get out and walk in the street. The street is where all the good folks go. And they meet with all the good friends they know. Well, it's such a treat to beat your feet on the old concrete. So if you want to live life, get out and walk the street. Come on and get your share. Come on and follow me there. remember the whole thing's free. You love yourself for being so indiscreet. So if you want to live life, get out and walk in the, get out and walk in the, get out and walk in the street. That TV set's been keeping you in your seat. But if you want to live life, if you want to live life, if you want to live life,